Bet you can't guess what today's video is, unless you read the title like a normal human being.
That's right. Here we go now. Here we go now.
Hey guys, it's Molly. Today I wanted to do the Disney tag. Honestly, I've been Disneyed out for the past month and a half. I just recently applied for the Disney college program, so I'm waiting to hear back on that. Fingers crossed, please send prayers my way. I'm here, I have some inspiration back, now that we're gonna talk about the happiest place on earth, which I wanna call my home. Let's get on with the video. I'm looking at my computer, so I apologize, but I'll put it aside for you guys. Question number 1. What's a scene in a Disney movie that you wish you could experience? I know that if you watch a lot of these videos, unfortunately, apparently I'm pretty common, but my favorite movie is Tangled, so the idea of being on the boat in the middle of the water with someone I love, with all the lanterns just surrounding you, and the beautiful ambiance and music, that scene just has a special place in my heart. I love the costumes, and the lighting, and the song, and I just, that's something that would be amazing, and that's something I've always wanted to do, to even go to like a lantern festival or like release a lantern on my wedding day. Who knows? Sorry, I'm a sap, but 2, an unforgettable experience you've had at the parks. Now, I've been going to the parks for a long time. I'm not gonna say very often, but when I was a kid, I remember the first time I went with my family. We all piled on the plane and ended up, everybody got sick. I'm gonna sound awful because I can't remember what year it was. It was in the early to mid 2000s, and we had been they were having some celebration at Walt Disney World where it was like special anniversary or something. It was like the Year of Wishes. I don't think that was the exact title, but anyway, we got like all these, they were basically granting wishes all across the parks and making magical moments, and I remember thinking it was so cool at such a young age. We rode Living with the Land in Epcot. It's basically this like all about agriculture and sustainability, and you walk through and it's all about loving the planet and loving the earth and, you know, all that warm and fuzzy stuff. But also I remember as a kid, it had the Mickey Mouse pumpkins, like literal pumpkins shaped like Mickey Mouse, and they were like, they called them Cinderella pumpkins. I thought it was pretty cool. And they looked like this, in case you're wondering. But anyway, at the end of that ride, since they were doing all this big promotional, magical wishes and everything, they said, everybody on this boat, you're the lucky winner, you get a lanyard filled with pins. And I remember thinking, I wasn't collecting pins at the time, but I thought that was so cool. And it, like, as sad as that is, and maybe it's a little materialistic, I was so excited to wear those pins. And I went through the parks, and I just had my like silver and blue lanyard on, and I was like, yes, I'm a princess. I just won this on a ride just because we happened to be in the right boat at the right time, at the right ride. That was crazy to me. But that's why I want to be a part of the Disney College program, because I want to make magic for other families like that. 3, what non-Disney song reminds you or brings back memories of the parks? Honestly, I don't know if any non-Disney songs do. Like, I mean, there's always like the sappy songs that make me feel like, yes, I am going to be a Disney princess one day, and that's the plan. You know, in my own head, I'm whistling to animals and they're just coming, and my prince is there, you know how it is. I don't know. That's literally a hard question. I don't think there is a non-Disney song that reminds me. If I come up with one, I'll put it in the description below and we can reminisce together. But 4, when was the first time you went to a Disney park? Y'all, I'm terrible at timelines. I think it was in 2001, 2000-ish. I just remember my family, my dad saved up and took me, my brother, my sister, and my 3 cousins, as well as my aunt and uncle. It was a big production, and basically we all went out to the parks, and that was one of my favorite trips. I wish I was not bad at timelines because it was so good. I had my Minnie Mouse princess hat. We went as Disney characters for Halloween because we were being Snow White and it was Minnie Mouse one year, but y'all, I love Disney. 5, If you could choose any of the Disney characters to be your best friend, who would you choose? Again, I love Tangled, so my best friend, I think Rapunzel and I would get along great. We're both blonde, vivacious, and independent women, and I love what she stood for. She's still feminine, but can kind of kick some butt and be a little outspoken, and I kind of like that about her, that she can handle her own, but she's a little spunky too, so I really would want to be friends with Rapunzel. 6. Who is your favorite Disney princess? I think this goes without saying, I've only talked about her how many times in this video? As much as I would like it to be a princess that I grew up with, Rapunzel is my favorite to this day. Tangled came out when I was in 8th grade, so it technically was a little old to be loving Disney princesses, but that's the first time I was like, this is real, this is me. Rapunzel is definitely my favorite. I always liked Aurora and Cinderella, but my favorite of all time has been Rapunzel. 7. Name a scene or moment from a Disney movie that never fails to make you cry. Honestly, there's so many out there. I am a crier. I'm gonna be honest. I get really invested in the fictional characters' lives and my friends' lives. I'm just a very sympathetic, empathetic person. Honestly, the scene that makes me cry every time is the first scene in Up, where there's no sound and you just get to walk through this love story, and I bawl every time. Never fails. Never fails. I love, and I'm literally getting choked up thinking about it. I am such a dork, y'all. Number 8. What is your favorite Disney movie? Do y'all want to guess? Because I bet you can guess. Ding ding ding! It's Tangled. Shocker there. I only talked about her like 1,000 times. Number 9. What's an overrated Disney movie? Now, I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but honestly, I'm trying to think of some that are overrated, but I can't think. I can just think right now what's coming to mind is bad movies that are not overrated, like that Sorry Excuse for Chicken Little. The wannabe karaoke scene was the best part of that movie, and who knows? Yeah, it was a nightmare. It came out on my birthday that year, and I got so excited that a Disney movie was coming out on my birthday, and then it was that, and I was like, all right, that happened. And I'm not a big fan of Brother Bear, but we don't really talk about Brother Bear. Nobody talks about Brother Bear, and I mean, I'm not mad about it. Sorry to all you Brother Bear fans out there. It was just not my cup of tea. It's got a great soundtrack. I literally listened to it the other day and just started bawling. God bless Phil Collins. Other than its soundtrack and its heritage, I couldn't get behind it. Sorry. Number 10. Most underrated Disney movie. Now, I will preach about this one because I love it so much. I talk to my friends that this movie is so underrated all the time, and that, my friends, is Meet the Robinsons. It's literally so cute, so sweet, so cool. I love it so much. I'm always a big fan of the vintage style of the future, like very Tomorrowland-esque. I always liked the rocket ships and, you know, flying cars, and I think that's so cool, and Meet the Robinsons really met my love for that, and I just think it's such a cute movie. I will back it up till I die. Meet the Robinsons is one of the best Disney movies. Just saying. Number 11. What is my favorite Disney song? There are some great contenders in Lion King and Mulan. They're the classics, they have my heart, but probably my number 1 song, if I'm being realistic, is I See the Light from Tangled. I actually auditioned for my high school play with that song. I sang the duet, both parts, but on Flynn's part, I had to bring it up a little bit of a key to Rapunzel's part because I am completely single and yeah, that's my life. I love the song. Everybody in the room told me, like, oh my gosh, I love that song. And I was like, yeah. It's like, it just gives me all kinds of feels, you know, all kinds of feelings. Number 12. Least favorite Disney movie. I've already discussed this. Chicken Little. Move on. Number 13. Most memorable Disney villain. One of the most memorable for me growing up was Jafar, because I remember being so scared of him in Aladdin when he had the little serpent on a stick that could just hypnotize people. I don't play with that. I was like, oh gosh. That used to terrify me. The idea of mind control in movies, like to this day, it kind of freaks me out, but like back then, I was like, I ain't getting around him. I don't trust snakes. I don't trust Jafar, you know. It was just, you know, a big part. There are many contenders, but that's definitely the one that stands out the most. 14. What's your favorite classic and modern Disney movie? My favorite classic, outside of Disney Princess World, it was probably Toy Story. I loved Toy Story growing up, and I wanted to be Jessie, or actually originally I wanted to be Lil Bo Peep, and that's who really resonated with me. And when Barbies came in the second movie, I was like, I'm sold. This is it. This is my time. My favorite like Disney princess movie growing up was probably, I hate that I was a kid that just sided with the blonde girls, but I love them. When I was younger, I didn't appreciate Belle and Mulan as much as I should have, but now growing up, I'm like, yes, I'm all about them. They're so cool, and they're some of my favorites. And Ariel and all those, you know, just fighting the patriarchy, standing up, being a little bit different. I really like that. My favorite modern day Disney movie is Tangled. Surprise. This is becoming boring. Just a video all about how much I love Tangled. Let me know. 15. What's your favorite Disney score? Again, I never really got into the music, like pure like instrumental music, until I was in 8th grade when I watched Tangled, and it was made by Alan Menken, who has made some beautiful soundtracks. Phil Collins is a close second, but I'm telling you, the soundtrack to Tangled is just so beautiful, yet so funny, and it's just full of that Disney joy, and I love that. 16. What's my favorite live action movie? Growing up, my favorite movie of all time was Enchanted, starring Amy Adams and James Marsden and Patrick Dempsey. I love that movie to this day. I think it's genius. I love the Disney magic, but it also, you know, flooded into real world. I've always been a sucker for a good rom-com, so like those kind of mixed everything that I loved about Disney and everything I loved about other movies and made it into one. And if you haven't seen Enchanted, it's one of the best movies of all time. So go do that. Pause this video, go watch Enchanted. Number 17. What's a movie I didn't like as a kid but I like now? Honestly, when I was younger, I didn't really care for Mulan. I was a sucker for the big princess gowns and the tiaras, and I get that the whole point of Mulan is to fight that, and growing up I just didn't comprehend that well. But now I'm like, every time I watch Mulan, I'm like, yes, you do this, you like stand up for who you are, don't like let them be who you're not, and put you on display just so a man can love you. The feminist in me loves Mulan. Thank you for that. And the last question, number 18. What's my favorite Studio Ghibli film? Now, I honestly don't watch a lot of Studio Ghibli. I know my brother was really into it for a while. The only one I ever have seen was Kiki's Delivery Service. And I remember as a kid, I was over at my friend's house and she was like, let's watch a Disney movie. And I was like, yeah, Disney. Disney's great. And she's like, how about Kiki's Delivery Service? And I was like, what is this? This isn't Disney. I'm about to offend so many people out there. But it was pretty cute, and I get like the reason why it has a cult following and people love Studio Ghibli. So if you have any recommendations of any Disney movies or Studio Ghibli films, put them below. I'm always wanting to learn. Anyway guys, I hope you liked this video. I know it was pretty magical. Maybe next time when I'm wearing this MU hat, I'll be going to Disney University in the college program, but really appreciate y'all's prayers. This has been such a long and stressful process, and I hope to document it in another video and talk about my experiences with it. Leave a comment down below. What's your favorite Disney movie? And if you want to, since this is a tag, I tag you. You're it. I don't know what else to say, you're it. I hope you have a magical day, and remember, it's a mall world after all. Bye.
Yeah.